that's the big sentiment is that we're not most guys aren't romantic, most guys aren't doing enough, all that type of stuff. That's the the overwhelming sentiment. But I would also add on top of that that like honestly, a lot of black another thing about being black is a lot of us don't really take no shit. And it's a lot of the other races are like the men are soft. Like they not like and and they what they passive. And a lot of us we just not passive. And I think and women find that very attractive. A man that they feel like can protect them. On top of us, they might think we're good looking, and of course, we know the sex and all that other type of stuff, but we got a stoicism to us naturally. Like nobody walks down the street and be like, oh, that white man could whoop me. Like most cases, like you're not intimidated by no white man, but if you walk down and you see somebody who look like yourself, you're like, he might can fight. You don't think that about so
I wanted to go back to straight like that.
But
That
again, to
he
me,
talked
like,
about, and that's okay. When he was saying, when black women date outside of their race, we make them into black men. I don't necessarily think it's us thinking we're making them into black men. It's us introducing them once again to our culture, what we are naturally attracted to. The only time I've ever dated outside of my race, it was an Asian guy, and I literally didn't have to bring him over to anything. I dated him because he acted black. Because when he spoke, he sounded black. Because he hung around black people. That's the only time I've ever dated outside my race, right? So I don't know if it's the fact that we are going out of our way to change them. It's just, you should change your hair like this. That looks nice on you. And it usually does. It glows them up. Have y'all ever seen the black woman effect when they date black white men and they glow them up? They look good. Okay? But it's our culture overall, I feel like. Just like I feel it also touches when black men date some white women. The white
It's
women start mimicking things that black women do. Do
it
they not? They go
it
get their booties done. They next thing you know, they got braids down their back. You know what I'm saying? They hanging out with certain women. They wear their nails a certain way. They trying to cook a certain way. Black is just attractive. Period. Overall.
I don't remove that. I think, but I don't think it happens as often. Like to straight like that's point. I don't overwhelmingly see when a brother is dating out that the woman is trying to convert or assimilate to our culture. I don't see that. They typically, especially if they have strong cultural roots, they're perfectly fine being who they are in their culture. They typically derive some level of connection with the fact that he's just a good man and he just so happens to be black. There's always this conversion of black is braids or black is just swag or black is all these things. We touch every corner of this globe. Like, and most people who do history understand that. So
Yeah.
unfortunately, we get a heavy representation of blackness just being one dimensional from an American scope. Like, as a black person, there's black people who speak French, there's black people who speak Spanish, so
Yeah,
I
of course.
yeah, but
I would push back on kind of both of y'all's idea that I think that when it comes to um races and stuff like that, I think everybody kind of just want like a perfect mesh between everybody. Like I don't think that when black women get a white man, they try to put black clothes on him and all that type of stuff. I think they do like want him to be, they might teach him to be a little bit more smooth, but I don't think that she's like, oh, I'm gonna put some streetwear on you, put a chain on you like a do rag. I don't think it's like, I don't think they doing that. I think she want to put some nice clean clothes on you, but like not like some black man swag. And I don't know. I think in life in general, like people are going to be attracted to illegitimacy. And I think black culture, for the most part, we got a lot of illegitimacy in it. So, like for example, like we wear our hats backwards, right? Like we ain't gonna wear it the right way. We're gonna turn it around, right? We're gonna pull our pants down a little bit. We're not gonna walk we're not gonna walk with good posture. We're gonna limp a little bit, like the idea of being, what is it called? Rebellious. Our culture has become rebellious, and that's attractive to everybody. I remember when I was in high school, when I went to a city high school, like it was fun. It was rebellious. Like the whole joint was like rebellious, and it was just fun. It was different than being, them going to a suburban high school. So I think that's the part of our culture that's so attractive that other people are so attracted to. Like I love mafia movies. Like I was just watching Goodfellas, and I saw how I saw the face on his girlfriend's face when he walked out and he pistol whipped the guy who was fucking with her. And like I can imagine the feeling that she got, like, oh shit, like he just took care of that real easy. So
I know I hear what you're saying, and I do agree. There is a certain natural bravado and masculinity. But my issue is there are a lot of Black boys growing up right now who don't fit that frame, who are actually very soft-spoken, who are shy, and actually don't want to shoot guns. They want to play Pokemon. And I feel like Black men are not a monolith. And when we have these assumptions of how a Black man should be, a lot of these Black men enter relationships with women and they can't dominate her, or they can't do all the, and that's what I'm trying to say. Like, there is an aspect where everything you guys are saying is true, but the understanding and the value of who you, true, real, Hank, Willie, who you guys authentically are, the appreciation of that, you have to ultimately unlearn all the assumptions you have about Black men. And if that makes sense. And I have a question. As Black men, do you guys get to a certain age where you guys start, like, you know, there's like an itch? You're like, oh my gosh, I'm almost 40. Oh my God, I'm almost 50. Do I still got it? Like, do you also feel like that desire to compensate? Like you brought up
that age.
Huh?
I gotta wait till I get 40 and 50.
Tell the truth and shame the devil. Y'all done seen y'all granddaddy go through their phase trying to act young again.
Still putting black dye in your hair, uncle. You're 80.
Wait. Hold
trying
on.
to wear their street clothes to they.
So if
you have a year belly since 1999, bro. Come, please.
So wait. So I'm just to be clear before I respond. Are we saying that if dyeing your hair is to stay young? Is like
no. There's I'm asking, do men reach a certain point in their midlife where there's an anxiety where you realize
I understand what you're doing.
I am at this age, or I've
and like, so I understand what you're I understand what you ask. I understand what you ask, and what you almost said it. You almost just said it. Like you're asking, or you want us to acknowledge, do men go through midlife crisis? Which you almost said it just a second ago.
Or at least the female version, yeah.
I think that a lot of most men go through something. They go through a stage in life, and it's not because they feel like they want to be young again. They just feel like they missed the freedom in being able to do the things that they want to go do, the things they couldn't do when they were young. For example, a guy has to spend his 20s to make money. He's in his 30s now. Now he's got money. He wants to travel, go have fun, go party, whatever. He might not prioritize a relationship at that point, right? There's a lot of men that happens to. I don't think that the majority of men are hit an age and like, damn, I'm getting old. Because for us, we look forward to getting old, because now that's not something that most men get to do. Like to be old and happy,
right?
To be old and to be old and like and satisfied with their lives. I don't think that the majority of men do it to seek validation from women or from other men either. I think that everybody has a certain stage of what they want to do. If a guy grows up struggling and he gets money, one of the first things he's going to do is his inner child is going to be satisfied. So all of those things he had on his poster, on his like posters he had on his wall as a kid, he's going to go buy those. He's going to go buy that car. He's going to start looking for that woman. He's going to get that house. He's going to get that watch. He wants to get those things because those are trophies for him that represent the hard work he's put in. I don't think that's a midlife crisis. I think a midlife crisis is a guy who spends his whole life, working, turns 50 and is like, damn, I done wasted half my life. So now I got to go out here and start skydiving, driving fast cars, taking risks, doing all this other shit. Like maybe you said, put the Beijing in his beard or in his hair. But I don't think that's the majority of men. I think that's just a large portion of men, but not.
What if it's just figuring out his life?
If it's just what?
Because earlier you had said men. You said men when they reach like a certain age, they get to do things they were unable to do when they were younger. So let's say he reaches 45, he's more mature, he's more financially stable, he's really attractive to a lot more, like his pool has expanded in a way it did not expand when he was 20. So it might not be like, the midlife crisis might be trading out old girl for a new young thing.
That's not a midlife crisis. That's just a man choosing a better option. That's just male hypergamy. Women do that shit on a daily basis. I don't feel bad for y'all.
Your wife has been with you for 20 years. That's a better option.
Listen, I don't feel bad for y'all when it happens, because unfortunately women tend to be the ones doing that the majority of the time. So, and then also you have to remember that a man in his 20s is not going to have the money he has in his 40s. We have to earn all of that. We have to go earn that value. We have to go become the things that make us attractive to the majority of women. Y'all are born with it. So of course we don't feel bad, or it's not a midlife crisis if now we have money and we have status and we have the things that women want and we decide to go exercise those things. That's
Willie, can I ask you something? Because I just wanted to make sure I heard you clearly. So you're stating that the woman that held a man down from when they had nothing, birthed his children, stayed with him until he had something, stood by his side, was loyal, that you don't feel bad for her because it's other women out there that decided to switch out their man. So it's okay now for this.
I didn't say
a loyal woman now for him.
I didn't say anything that should make someone logically think that I think that. You went to an extreme, and that's
exactly what you said.
That's not exactly.
You painted the picture of a perfect woman.
No, I didn't. I painted a picture.
You said the woman who birthed his kids, who held him down. That's not who I was talking about. You know that. That's just a bad faith question.
And literally said the woman that was married to this man for 20 years, he leaves her for something younger. You said I don't feel bad for her. Women do it all the time.
Speaking, I don't. The majority of the time that
I just asked you to clarify. It's her fault that other women who are trash.
Anytime a guy says something, y'all try to come up with the most extreme example to try to repeat what he said. It won't work.
Willie, can I finish? Because it's working, because that's what you said. I'm just repeating what you stated. And
right, but the context you added to what I said was different.
Willie, you don't like to let people talk.
No, it's not that I don't like to let people talk.
You're not letting me talk.
Hold on, y'all. One mic, one at a time, y'all. Second here.
Now, if you would ask me, if someone had asked me that I think that a woman who held her husband down, had his kids, do I feel bad for that one woman? Yes, but that is rare. That's not the common. That's not the norm. That's not the majority.
And just asked you, and it's not that rare.
She said married 20 years.
Out here, that is
married 20 years is rare.
For a man to find a good woman who's going to hold him down, that's not rare.
It is rare.
Really happens.
How many 20-year marriages do you guys know of?
You said what? Say it again.
I'm asking the panel. How many people do y'all know married more than 20 years?
Old people.
I know people married more than 20 years.
Right, but the majority of people that you know that are married under 20 years.
Together since they was in high school, married with a child. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's still not the norm.
That's not my reality. That's not the reality of most women that I know. So for you to sit here and say, okay, well, I don't feel bad for her because women do it all the time. The mistakes of another woman shouldn't be put on that woman because that man is going through a crisis. Just like the mistakes of other men shouldn't be put on a specific man that's doing what he's supposed to do. It's a lot of women that come on this panel and say, man ain't shit. They all cheat. They all do this. They all do that. Saying that all men fall under this one category is just as wrong as saying that there are no women out there that are holding man down. It's just not the truth. And
I didn't make the assertion that
it act like it is.
I didn't make any of those assertions that you're arguing against points no one made. Nobody made I didn't once make the assertion that woman. I was talking about women generally. And unfortunately, you just admitted the problem you have is that my comment doesn't align with your anecdotal experience. The entire panel just said the majority of people that they know that are married have not been married for 20 years. The majority of the panel, like the majority of marriages is what I'm talking about. That one extreme situation you came up with, it's common sense. I would feel bad for that woman who did that. But that's not the norm. That's not the average. The average woman is not getting with a dude and holding him down when they struggle. That's not because if that was the case, the divorce rate wouldn't be 54%.
Oh my God.
But
it's not a hard argument it's not a hard logic tree to follow. If the divorce rate is 54%, 20-year marriages can't be the norm. What are we talking about?
Like the divorce rate, but there's
simple mathematics at this point.
There's still what?
It's simple mathematics.
How many percentage of people are married though? That's still out there. That's all I'm saying. It's still a possibility.
I'm not talking about the 1%. I'm not talking about the minority. You guys always want to focus on the exceptions to the rule, and that's how you have bad faith arguments. If we're talking about the majority of marriages fail, they end. So if that's the case, it is impossible for the norm to be 20-year marriages. It's like this. It's simple. It's mathematics. Why I said 2 + 2. It's a mathematical, logical truth. It's not subjective. Objective. It's or subjective. It's just.
I understand, but the situation, the hypothetical situation that Ann brought up to you,
wasn't what you.
A woman who was holding down a man. She specifically said that, and you stated you didn't feel bad for her. That's all I was clearing up. It's how could you not feel bad for the woman who didn't do shit to the man?
Oh, so to be
He
clear,
decided now he got something, so he gonna go and
I'll,
boot the other way.
I'll restate it just so everybody can be clear. For those few women that happens to, I feel bad for y'all. But again, I don't believe that those women are represented on most of these panels nor in these comments. So, but to that question, that one specific question, for that woman, of course I feel bad for her. The same way I feel bad for a man who puts his wife through school, she becomes a lawyer and leaves him, which would happen the majority of the time. And we can substantiate that with statistics and experiences that are all over the internet. But what we won't be able to ever do is be like, oh, well, you just said this because I want to make this fantastic analogy that I wasn't presented with in the first time. Because if you had led with that, of course, like anybody with common sense would feel bad for that person. But again, it's simply a mathematical fact. The majority of marriages end. So the majority of marriages will never see 20 years. And then if you Google the statistic, less than 6% do. So again, we're not talking about those people. We're talking about the other 94% of y'all. Like, the logic is there. It's math based.